Okay, recording, I believe. Alrighty. Let me put this fucker down here. So, that's good. Okay, let's do sync clap again. Boop. So, someone's asked me this question. Hello, everybody. As promised, I'm going to do a little bit of an insight of how I record my piano, a little bit about the piano, about the sound of the piano, some questions that have been sent to me after the short Instagram reel, which thank you so much for sharing all the love. Hello here as well. So I'm gonna just walk you through a track called Brief Light, which I'm also releasing this Friday on the 18th with Moderna Records. Super excited. And, you know, this is kind of my process is ongoing in the piano sound and my records. Like someone texts me saying my piano sounds changed quite a lot. I think that's a beautiful thing. So, you know, I move places, I have new gear, I try out new plugins, etc. And, you know, I mean, everybody's sound is different. This is by all means not how you should record the piano, but how I record my piano is like loads of little bits of information of different people. Like someone does it like that, someone does it like this, someone uses these mics, I like their sound, you know. But in the end, it's the whole combination that sort of makes one's sound, and it's the playing obviously as well. It's like, I mean, I love watching guitar. I'm a big fan of guitar solos in 60s and 70s and, you know, Stevie Ray Vaughan. And I see all these debates and, you know, with the guitar, it's kind of massive on these forums. Like, this guy's using this and everybody knows how he got the sound, you know. But I think it's a magical combination out of everything. And there's no kind of right or wrong in a way. So I'm going to show you, how I at this moment, what kind of sounds I'm using it. Maybe I'm just gonna take you over here. Oopsie. Hello, welcome to the ship. Ooh. I'm trying to hold it steady. But just so I guess to begin with, I'm using this Schimmel piano here. Beautiful little baby. I found it here on Mallorca, and you know, believe it or not, but in Mallorca it's quite difficult to find a piano. You know, it's kind of I wouldn't say like super remote. It's very popular these days, but it was much easier to find something in London or in Madrid. In Madrid, I went to a place, played 200 pianos in a shop, and you know, that was it. The shop here has maybe 10 pianos, you know. But so I consider myself really lucky to find this Schimmel. And while I was looking for the Schimmel, I was also actually finding the grand piano I have over in the Shoe Factory. And for those of you who know my sample libraries, I have the Shoe Factory sample library, and there the grand piano is sampled. And that, for example, is a total different story how I treat that one. You know, the EQ changes, the mic changes, maybe the practice felt changes. Actually, the grand piano over there hasn't got a practice felt, so I made a custom felt, and actually each of the hammers has a different amount of felt on there, so it kind of evens it out. There was also a question about recording sounding unbalanced, or you know, so you can maybe even that out by playing. But if one key always jumps out, consider like sticking a little more felt onto the hammer there. I mean, the grand piano over there is totally fucked. I mean, it's I put this stuff on with like with hot glue, or how do you call it? You know, that kind of that you stick wood together or metal or whatever. It's God, I can't remember the name. Anyway, it's completely gone, you know, but it's a really old piano and now it sounds super nice. And this one is a little, maybe it's about 12 years old. It's fairly new. I used to practice felt that came with it. Oh my God, look, the humidity, I can't walk further. It's sort of like the cable doesn't come as far, but look at that. The humidity lifts the hammers there. Not very good, but you know, I'm gonna have to fix it at some point. But luckily it's only the lowest keys there, so I'm not bothered, and actually the sound doesn't change that much. And so my older pianos, my other pianos, for example in Amsterdam, I've recorded them with the Coles. So I started out with the Coles because that's what I saw, what I learned. I really saved up to got a pair of those, and I was really excited when I got them. But then they're also quite noisy. You need a really good preamp. I mean, I have a good preamp, the Apollo 8P, but I think I needed even an extra preamp to you know, have all the gain on there. And you know, just make it work. And I found it a bit muffled here and there. So I used them a lot on percussion and vocals actually. And recently, I think also on brass. I mean, I haven't got a huge mic cupboard, so I just make it work with what I have. Not that I'm complaining, it's a great mic. And the C414s as well, I really love them. I got them because they're really good, a versatile option to record other bits. They're good as room mics. I use the standard polar pattern that comes with it. And yeah, just stick it on fairly close, you know. I don't measure the distance or anything, you know. I just plonk it there, listen, I play, I move it. I'm not, in that sense, super technical. Many times also it's there. It might have moved. I record something on the fly and I like it and I leave it. It's these little imperfections that I'm after as well. And then yeah, again, this kind of running it to the Apollo 8P here. Yep. There we go. Apollo 8P. Right into the back there. Let me just quickly look at my notes. What the questions were. Yeah, the patterns. KM184 that loads of people seem to record with these days for the soft piano sound. But, you know, if I'm quite honest, I'm not after how everybody else does stuff, because I don't want to sound like everybody else. Obviously, you're inspired by current trends and stuff, but I'm always really positively surprised if I hear someone or something, or someone does something super different. It's like, wow, okay, that's cool, yeah, you know, maybe try and learn something from that. Yeah, so I think that was more or less kind of the question. So let's have a look at the, let's have a look here at my screen, at the piano recording. I hope the fan doesn't really bother. I mean, Jesus, it's so hot in here. I have a small fan coming at me, a big fan up there. I hope it doesn't kind of disturb the sound here, but yeah, it's hot. I've ordered an AC at this very moment. You're lucky that I'm wearing clothes. It's bloody boiling. Or unlucky, I don't know. Have I got this set up properly again? Am I here? God, yeah, this amateur YouTuber. YouTuber. No, yeah, okay, here we go. Yeah, so my track, Brief Lights, being released soon, or maybe it's already out. I'll put the link anyway, so you can listen to it, because I've been fiddling about a little bit and already coming up with new ideas. But so it's just you know, this is not the final outcome. I've changed it again a little bit, moved about, saved it, forgot to, you know, didn't have a backup, so this is kind of the new setting. Anyway, so I'm just playing you how this sounds out of the box here. Let me see whether you can hear this. So this is totally untreated. Sounds really lovely, doesn't it? Wonder why I've done all this stuff to it. Anyways, sometimes it's so true. Sometimes you can overdo it and just go down the rabbit hole of plugins and things. So my philosophy really is like, creativity is really shaped by its limitations. And sometimes we have just way too many options. You know, it's like, oh, put a bit of this plugin and that plugin. And then all of a sudden you take everything off and it's like, wow, sounded actually quite good at its start. But yeah, anyway, I'm putting on a compressor because the track is quite dynamic, as you can see with the waveforms here. It gets quite loud, and then here I'm starting quite soft. But it's usually quite a fast attack, fast release. Getting a tiny bit of a pumping sound, you know, it's quite a low threshold as well. Ooh, lovely, bit of distortion, but I'm taking this off in the EQ. So some of you pointed out, Ooh, a pint would be lovely. Yeah, some of you pointed out this insane EQ. Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, taking out so much. But yeah, I think I went back and then just turned up sort of like the makeup gain. I mean, I don't know. It just sounded fine to my ears after all, you know. I mean, what's the rule? How much you can take out? I could also, I guess I could bring this all up by 50% and then do a makeup gain here. But, you know, why follow the rules? Anyways, so I'm just going to turn this down a little bit because it's just making up for the EQ there. guess I'm using the fat filter a little bit as a compressor as well for certain frequencies. So actually I'm not taking out too much here, but yeah, okay. Gain back up into the EQ here, so that's how it sounded. And then this is, I guess, the biggest change to the sound here. It's gotten quite quiet, obviously. I'm just gonna turn on this EQ here. But the sound has gotten somehow quite, it's done something like what I was after is kind of this really close sound, but it's really kind of clear. So on this specific track and these couple on Autumn Blossom as well, I did change my sound massively. So this is a bit more of a polished, I don't know, maybe you could call it playlist sound. You know, I was listening to loads of these piano tracks and it's like they're all sort of like polished and kind of like dynamically quite squished. And it's kind of clean sounding, but it's got a lovely kind of tail. So I was experimenting with that actually. So this is sort of a new kind of thing. But if I would sum up, like obviously don't do this. This is maybe not a great advice, but you know, I think because for example in the past I would actually add around 4.5K so to hear the mechanics. But I think it's shifted a little bit and it's all kind of this pristine sound, you know. For other albums or for other recordings, I would add actually a little bit of 4K, take out in the middle, and actually I'm just gonna show you this, what I would do usually on most of my piano recordings. So this would be kind of my EQ setting, tick, and then I have this down, something like this, around 500. So this is probably, if we would go into old sessions, this is sort of like your standard little smile piano thing, you know. I see you'd have it here. Oh, no, not like that. Like this. A little bit like that. So this is how I would have my EQ usually, you know. I think, and with this EQ, I think if you were to apply a standard EQ on a nice sounding piano without the filter, you know, I'm calling it filter, but with the practice felt, obviously, I mean, there, I think that's good. That's a good EQ, you know. But I've arrived at this mad fucker here and it just sounds great afterwards to me. Oh, and then for this track, actually, I'm pitch shifting it down 3 semitones. It sounds somehow really warm. It sounds really nice and kind of the hammers, it's just so subtle. It's really, yeah, I love this sound. It's quite a gentle sound. Again, really, usually I would go, I'd show you now the RE501 kind of thing here. I would go much harder on this, have much more delay, sort of like, you know, inspired by John Lennon's slapback reverb, have that on the piano and like sometimes doubling even like Jimi Hendrix kind of style, you know, where, you know, I have the guitar kind of coming from both sides and, you know, doing all sorts of experiments. But okay, this is this kind of sounds. And this kind of crazy EQ, the sound shift, again, it makes it so bassy here, it's great. Some artifacts even on the low notes when they're sustained, love it, it's really fantastic. Okay, and then, so I would go bus number 1, sending this up here, you know, to my lovely friends RE501, which is this lovely tape echo. And so this is my setting, you know, very kind of fast. Again, kind of this slapbacky kind of thing. Just a single repeat, so it doesn't kind of keep on repeating. Just a tiny bit of reverb, almost no bass, mid treble. It generates quite a bit of noise. Actually, on the final recording and on the release, you'll hear if you listen to on the streaming platforms. It actually doesn't really you can't really hear it that much. But you know, I'll turn it on for you. So now a bit more. So that's quite cool. Yeah, that's cool. Oh, well, see, this is this is even cool. Well, kind of like changing the repeat rate while you go, and it gets this like wobbly kind of stuff. So if I use the third tape head, obviously it gets really like super delayed. So that's why I use the first tape head. Kind of mid-volume, sending very little. So it just creates a little bit of a delay, and then that delay is then sent into more reverbs. And that's kind of the magical thing I love about kind of most piano recordings. Again, there's a lot of noise, so actually I don't have the raw output of the chorus echo itself, so I'm just sending the delayed signal through more reverbs. So you can see this really lovely tail. And so I'm sending a little bit to my long plate here, which I'm using this Abbey Road plugin. 4 seconds here, plate number A. Don't ask me about A, B, C, D. I think that's just different types of plates. No drive. Actually, probably should do a little bit more pre-delay. So it's even more delayed. I think it just creates a little bit of space for the dry signal. And especially if you have like a bit of a busier one, like here my chorus, then I think that sounds quite lush. And you hear, like I'm making it a little bit more extreme now so you can hear it. Wow, so nice, it's really magical. Then I'm sending a little bit to my, you know, this filter, Fab Filter Pro R reverb is sort of my mastering reverb I use on pretty much everything. And it's just always a tiny touch sending it towards it, you know, so it's this reverb goes to reverb bus number 5, which is the Pro R. And then the Valhalla here, using a super massive. So if we just listen to this. I mean, super gentle, you know, it's only the reverb, like the dry signal doesn't even go into there. It's only the reverb that's being sent to a reverb, you know. You could argue that it might not even be necessary, but I think just everything together, just, you know, it really just makes the sound up, you know. So that's kind of all the reverbs together, coming initially from the delay from the chorus echo. Right, and then I have reverb number 2. Again, the piano sound goes into that long plate. Let me just do that. As opposed to like the short plate, it just creates a bit of room. So this just makes it like I'm sat in a room, you know. It's just, that would be kind of the most natural kind of sound there. And then the long plate. Used to use the EMT40 emulation by UAD. But then I've changed because I haven't got that anymore. Yeah, I'm using the Abbey Road plates. Quite happy with them actually. And then let's turn the RE501 on. And then just the whole, if we only listen to that, that is just a well-rounded master reverb, I'd call it. That's nice, not too long. I mean, you could potentially actually even turn it up a little bit, or turn the decay up a little bit, sort of like. Very lovely. Not too invasive. So none of them are really invasive. I mean, the RE501, it adds a bit of noise as well. Again, on the final recording, I don't really have much of that on there, or nothing at all, actually. So now everything turned up a little bit too much, but so you can hear that really well. I'd probably turn, you know, these signals down a little bit, not sending so much here. Just everything a touch down, using my ears. Probably not having the fans on, being on headphones to just really work the detail, and then that's it, you know. And then I've mastered this one myself, I believe. So sort of like mastering. Compression, not too fast of an attack, just catching what's really too loud. Usually working with 2 limiters, but really not hitting them hard at all. So when I arrive at the limiter, it should really sound balanced and well mixed. Just checking the LUFs here, integrated, sort of around 14, 15. That's the streaming platform standard. And yeah, I think that's sort of pretty much it. Anyway, let me know, of course, in the comment section, how you do it. Share any tips and tricks. I'd love to hear, you know, what else we can do to pianos. Maybe, you know, there's some new techniques you figured out, or some new crazy EQ settings or compressor settings, or tips that you can share with me, you know, like distortion, saturation, whatever, parallel compression, you name it, you know, and I'd be happy to hear that. Yeah, okay. Very cool that you've watched this, if you did. And yeah, thank you. See you next time. Bye-bye. Ooh, lovely.